So I'm using 3 different techniques to reserve the white of the sheep. One is masking fluid, and those are the ones to the left and in the middle. The one right of the middle is washi tape. You can use masking tape. And the one on the furthest right, I've just left it. I've just painted around it, so I haven't wet it. I've wet the entire background. I've painted on some yellows, some oranges, quinacridone gold, light greens, violet and browns, lovely autumnal colours. I'm using my size 10 brush and just dropping these colours wet into wet, trying to paint carefully around the sheep on the right hand side, because that's the sheep that I haven't actually masked out at all. Stick around towards the end of the tutorial and find out what I thought was the best technique for reserving the white of the sheep. So I've just dropped in a little bit of green there and some violet with some burnt sienna mixed up, painting damp into wet with my size 10 brush. So sort of working light to dark, wet into wet, damp into wet, and then damp into damp. And pretty much here I'm painting damp into damp. That's where the paper has still got a shine, but it's not as wet, and my brush isn't as wet. And what I'm doing here is I'm just putting on some paper towel on that sheep on the right to make sure it doesn't get any paint on it, and I'm spattering some creamy Indian yellow here and a little bit of lemon yellow as well, just to create some sort of abstract effects in the background. I'm using Brusho here. It's yellow ochre. If you'd like to know a little bit more about Brusho, I will put a link in the description below of a video I made all about Brusho. It's a really fun medium and it creates some lovely effects. I'm using some light brown Brusho here. And I've pierced a hole in the lid, and I'm just tapping the little drum here for the Brusho to fall onto the wet surface. As you can see, I'm just protecting my sheep there, the one that I haven't actually masked out at all. But as you can see there now, you can see what's happening with the Brusho. It sort of creates some lovely texture effects. I'm using some table salt now and sprinkling this on to the damp surface. I'm going to let this dry naturally. This is quite a nice technique. I'm using the corner of a tube of paint, but you could use a plastic card. I'm sort of scratching into the surface of the damp paper to actually sort of draw in some thin branches, and it's quite a nice technique, especially if you don't like sort of painting very fiddly thin branches. But just to say, this is permanent. You are actually scratching the surface of your watercolor paper, so if you're not sure, you can always paint these in later. So I'm going to allow my painting to dry naturally, so it allows the salt to work, and I'm really pleased with the effect there. And I'm just brushing off the salt with my paper towel. And I'm going to start painting in the trees now using my size 6 brush with a mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna, painting wet on dry, sort of painting in thinner branches there. I'm going to dilute the colour as well and paint very sort of thin trees in the distance as well. What I'm doing now is using a plastic card. It's just an ordinary store card cut up, and just swiping the right hand side of the tree where the light's coming from, so it creates light and texture. I'm going to do this to this tree as well, repeating the process with the ultramarine and burnt sienna and painting the smaller branches at the top. And I'll also use my store card, as you can see here, to scratch off the excess paint on the right hand side. Do this though when the paint's dried off a little bit, otherwise it will just all run back on itself. As you can see here, I'm painting some more trees here, some much thinner, paler, so they recede and it gives the painting some depth. So I'm just finishing off that tree on the right hand side and painting some grasses. at the bottom there, and it sort of hides the base of the tree. It makes it look more natural, and painting some grasses underneath the sheep as well with my size 6 brush with a mixture of blue and brown, and painting wet into wet some leaves in the foreground using a little bit of dark brown, a little bit of burnt sienna and ultramarine. So it's a good time to allow your painting to dry again. And what I'm doing now is I'm using a natural sponge, but you could use a scourer, and I'm just sponging on some creamy yellows, a little bit of light green, and also a darker colour, bit of burnt sienna and violet mixed just at the top of the trees to create some texture there. It's quite nice to do. That's the violet and burnt sienna there. I'm just tapping very gently as well. So it's a good time now to allow your painting to dry again. I'm using a circle stencil and a stencil brush, and I'm using the bouquet technique that I've been using in quite a few of my paintings. I've been really enjoying this technique. So I'm lifting off the paint, sort of scrubbing it off around the stencil there, and then lifting off with the paper towel any excess sort of paint or water there, and it's really effective. It creates this lovely sort of atmospheric effect, great when done with taking photographs as well. So I'm sort of trying to emulate this in the watercolour painting as well. If you don't have a circle stencil, you could use a synthetic brush. I'm using this brush. It's called the Eradicator by Showell, but it's actually a synthetic brush. It's got sort of quite short hair, and I'm just, as you can see, just really lifting off, really sort of working at the paint and then lifting off. Don't sort of work too hard that you might sort of score a hole in your watercolour paper, or just take off the actual surface of the paper as well. Sometimes some paints stain more, so it's more difficult to take off. Don't worry about this. You can always glaze over very dilute white later as well, and the link that I will put in the description below, I use lots of different ways of achieving this bouquet technique, so check that out. It's one of the first videos I made about this amazing technique. I just love it. It's magical. I was getting quite carried away with that technique. It's a good idea to allow my painting to dry. And what I'm doing here, I'm using a paper towel and I'm lifting off or taking off, rubbing off the masking fluid. So make sure your painting's absolutely dry. And because I put it on quite thick, look, you can actually peel it off as well, which is even better. Don't do this too fast because sometimes it can tear your paper, and it only works when you put it on quite thick. So that's worked quite well. I'm really pleased with that result there. So I'm just going to remove now the washi tape, which I love because it doesn't seem to tear the paper, not often anyway. That's worked really well. And of course you can see the one on the end, the sheep on the end, I reserved it. I painted around it. It's a good shape. You can't really do this with very fiddly shapes, but with the sheep it was easy to do. I don't have to worry about the legs or the head because it's going to be a lot darker than the back background itself. So I actually think I got away with it there. So you have got choices. Instead of using masking fluid, there are other methods out there. So I really hope you found that helpful, especially if you don't have access to masking fluid or you just don't like using masking fluid. So what I'm doing now is I'm wetting the surface of the paper. I've got a very dilute quinacridone gold. I'm going to paint the sheep halfway with the quinacridone gold, so halfway up their body from the bottom to the middle of their backs. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to paint a shadow colour, and that's a mixture, lots of different ways of getting shadow colour. You could mix a Prussian blue with some red, mix ultramarine with burnt sienna, but I'm going to paint that sort of at the third at the bottom, as you can see I'm doing now. I'm using my size 6 brush and I'm working damp into wet. You could also work damp into damp, but damp into wet, so it sort of runs up a little bit to the center there, sort of just about there, but you want to keep it at the bottom half. What you don't want to do after you've done all that masking is for it to run all the way up to the top. So try to keep the top part as white as possible to the paper, whether you're using a white paper or a creamy paper, but just keep that really light, no paint on there whatsoever. If you do happen to get paint on there or too much is running, you can always lift off with a paper towel. I'm using Payne's grey with a dash of violet, and I'm painting the legs of the sheep wet on dry with my size 4 brush. Now the bodies of the sheep are still wet. I've deliberately done that so you're painting damp into damp there, but try not to let it run up too far. You might want to tilt your painting forward as well so the paint runs down so it doesn't run up into the body of the sheep. If you are worried about that, just let your painting dry and paint the legs wet on dry. There's always ways round things. That's what I love about watercolour. I mean, when you plan things, you can always find, solutions to problems. What I'm doing now is I'm painting the heads of the sheep with my size 6 brush, and I've got a sort of like a violet colour there, violet and brown, watered down a little, so it's a little bit paler. So this is a base layer, and then I'm going to use Payne's grey and violet and paint on the left hand side, a little bit like I did with the trees. The dark is on the left, and just paint that damp into damp. So you can see here I'm painting on this sort of light violet and a little bit of burnt sienna colour, wet on dry. And then I'm going to paint a little bit of the Payne's grey with a dash of violet on the left hand side, damp into damp, so you don't want it to run too much. It's just create a little bit of shadow. And I'm lifting up with a paper towel the right hand side just to create a little bit of light and detail on the faces of the sheep there. I mean, it is a little bit idealized, this. I'm not sort of painting a portrait of a sheep, so they're not realistic, but everyone can see that they are sheep. So it's keeping it nice and simple, and it's great for beginners. So I'm just going back in now with the bouquet technique and the little synthetic brush, the eradicator, and I'm just lifting off a few more circles here and there, especially near the sheep, just to kind of finish things off in the background. I'm painting that shadow colour that I used for the sheep on the ground where their feet are, to kind of sort of bury the bottom of their feet there so they look like they're standing on the ground. I'm removing the washi tape now to reveal a lovely white border. It's a great sort of way to present your work, but also this border gives you time to sort of look at it and be more objective to see if you need to do any more to the painting. For those of you that want to learn a little bit more about watercolour painting, why not think about joining my Patreon membership? You'll get access to longer, more in-depth tutorials that are ad-free, where you will also be able to download outline sketches. Details about that can be found in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Happy painting. Bye for now.